So we have a victory for American democracy. Those were President Obama's words this morning as he gave his first on-camera reaction to yesterday's dual landmark decisions on LGBT rights and equality from the nation's highest court. The president said this about what comes next.
There are a whole lot of implications that flow from it because the Supreme Court did not make a blanket ruling that applies nationally, but rather lifted up the ability of states to recognize the dignity and respect of same-sex marriage, and that the federal government couldn't negate the decision by those states.
Now, here's what's happened in the last 24 hours since these historic rulings came down. President Obama has asked Attorney General Eric Holder, with overseeing changes in cabinet agencies in response to the DOMA ruling. The Defense Department is beginning the process of distributing spousal benefits to LGBT service members, and marriages are expected to begin again in California within a month. 84-year-old Edie Windsor, the woman at the center of the DOMA suit, says she cried when she heard this news.
For someone tonight who remains opposed, what do you most want to say to them?
Maybe trust me, okay? I think it will only be better. My country is not giving dignity to this beautiful person I lived with, okay? And so today my country gave dignity and appreciated who she was.
My country gave dignity. Joining me right now is James Esseks, a member of Edie Windsor's legal team. James, it is great to see you. Congratulations to you and Robbie Kaplan on what we saw yesterday. Certainly, Edie is now going down in history as an icon for civil rights in this country, a true hero. But thanks to Edie, with DOMA gone, it means that lesbian and gays who are legally married in this country are now eligible to a host of benefits, 1,138 that they were federally obstructed from before. But especially the no survivor estate tax for death benefits. But however, we still have 37 states that don't recognize marriage equality. That's about 70% of the U.S. population. So how are people in the country supposed to recognize the two Americas that we're living in because of this?
Well, look, you're right that yesterday was a great day for LGBT Americans and really for all Americans, because we saw America's core principle of equality prevail in the DOMA decision written by Justice Kennedy. And I think what we're seeing in the country as a whole is a continuing conversation and an evolution in public opinion around the freedom to marry for same-sex couples. I think America is coming to realize that gay people want to get married for the same reasons that straight people want to get married, to demonstrate our love and commitment for each other in front of friends and family.
One thing I wanted to point out, though, because this is really important, and I'm sure you've already read through this, within Justice Scalia's dissent, the majority opinion striking down DOMA, there's been this speculation that more sweeping legislation for all 50 states is only a matter of time. Based on what Scalia had to say, he said, quote, "As far as this court is concerned, no one should be fooled. It is just a matter of listening and waiting for the other shoe." How do you interpret that?
Well, look, he's saying, look, the majority in the DOMA case only purports to decide the constitutionality of the Defense of Marriage Act, which is about whether the federal government could continue to discriminate against the existing marriages of legally married same-sex couples. And he says, but it's really not about that. It's about forcing marriage on the entire country. That's not what they decided. He's right that many people in America want to get married. Lesbian and gay men want to get married. And the country is on a journey, and the country is getting to a place of equality in an incredibly quick way. Last November 1st, there were 6 states plus the District of Columbia that allowed same-sex couples to marry, and none of those marriages had got federal respect. Today, we have 13 states plus the District of Columbia and federal respect for all those marriages. And now we were at 11% of the country with the freedom to marry last November. Now we're at 30. The momentum on this issue is astounding.
We have leapfrogged, and it's all thanks to Edie Windsor and also the plaintiffs in Prop 8. It's been a big 24 hours. And hopefully Edie's gotten a little bit of rest, because I know she was at Stonewall in the Village last night. A lot of celebrating, and she's going to be the grand dame this weekend at the Pride Parade here in New York.
Absolutely. She is a treasure and a hero for all of us.
Yes, I completely agree with you. James Esseks, thank you, sir.